American ships sailed near the disputed Paracel Islands in the South China Sea, the United States U.S. Navy has said, challenging Beijing's claims on the resource-rich waterway and prompting a warning from the Chinese military. The Thursday operation came a day after China fired ballistic missiles into the sea as part of ongoing live-fire exercises, inflaming already high tensions between Washington and Beijing. The U.S. regularly conducts freedom of navigation operations in the area to challenge Chinese territorial claims. The U.S. Navy's Pacific Fleet said in a statement that the USS Mustin sailed Thursday in the vicinity of the Paracel Islands to ensure critical shipping lanes in the area remain free and open. The USS Mustin ships asserted navigational rights and freedoms in the vicinity of the Paracel Islands, consistent with international law, U.S. 7th Fleet spokeswoman CMDR Rhianne Momsen said in a statement. This Freedom of Navigation Operation (FONOP) upheld the rights, freedoms and lawful uses of the sea recognized in international law by challenging the unlawful restrictions on innocent passage imposed by China, Taiwan, and Vietnam, and also by challenging China's claim to strait baselines enclosing the Paracel Islands. The Paracels are a collection of 130 islands and reefs, surrounded by rich fishing grounds and potential natural resource reserves, that are claimed by China, Taiwan, and Vietnam. Such FONOPs are regularly conducted by the Navy to challenge territorial claims there and elsewhere in the South China Sea, which includes some of the world's busiest trade routes. China has in recent years expanded its military presence on the islands. A Wednesday test firing of China's DF-26B and DF-21D carrier-killer ballistic missiles took place near the Paracels, the South China Morning Post reported. The test firing comes after the Trump administration announced this year that it would reject nearly all of Beijing's maritime claims in the South China Sea. In a statement Thursday, the Pentagon condemned China's recent military exercises around the Paracels, including the firing of ballistic missiles. Conducting military exercises over disputed territory in the South China Sea is counterproductive to easing tensions and maintaining stability, the Pentagon said. The People's Republic of China's actions, including missile tests, further destabilize the situation in the South China Sea. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump's national security advisor called Beijing's claims in the South China Sea as ridiculous and announced upcoming meetings with his counterparts in Japan, India, and Australia to strengthen defense partnerships in the region. Robert O'Brien said China's claim to nearly the entire ocean that Vietnam, Indonesia, the Philippines, and other Southeast Asian countries claim part of has been rejected by all major countries, all seafaring countries, in an online discussion with Paula Dobriansky, vice chair of the Atlantic Council's Scowcroft Center for Strategy and Security. It's been rejected by a tribunal for the law of the sea. And now China's engaged in military exercises in these waters that they consider domestic, and which are by no stretch of the imagination domestic, he said, referring to a 2016 ruling by a tribunal at The Hague, which determined China had no historic rights over the sea. The United States is not going to back down from its long-held principles that the world's oceanways and international waters should be free for navigation, and the same with space and with air rights in international airspace. Beijing rejected the tribunal's ruling and has described it as having no binding force. O'Brien was responding to questions from Dobriansky, a former Undersecretary of State for Global Affairs, about China's accusation that a U.S. U-2 spy plane entered a no-fly zone without permission during a Chinese live-fire naval drill off the country's northeast coast, and news that China subsequently launched 2 missiles, including an aircraft carrier Slayer, into the area. Disputes between Beijing and Washington over the South China Sea have been escalating since Beijing began land reclamation operations in 2016 in some of the features it controls in the ocean's Spratly Archipelago, and built a new city on one of the islands, Sansha on Woody Island, in turn leading to an increase in Chinese tourism. The Trump administration added friction by issuing a direct challenge to China's claims by calling them completely unlawful. O'Brien said high-level meetings of the Quad, comprising the US, Japan, Australia, and India were being planned for September and October. I think Secretary of State Mike Pompeo will be meeting with the foreign ministers of those countries also in September and October, he added. We're very committed to those alliances. Pompeo has been working across departments in the Trump administration to counter China's claims in the South China Sea. On Wednesday, he announced sanctions on Chinese entities including the state-owned China Communications Construction Company, CCCC, calling the move a response to Beijing's militarization of outposts in the South China Sea. That announcement included news that the U.S. Commerce Department added 24 Chinese state-owned firms identified as instrumental in building up outposts in the area to an entity list of companies that U.S. firms are restricted from transacting with.